Hey guys, it's VillainTheory, and I'm very excited to announce a new project. So a while ago, I did a series called The Unusual X-Men Decks, which few content creators played on their channels back before I had a YouTube channel. And I was trying to take the X-Men heroes, who typically all used a lot of the same supports and allies, and say, hey, you can do something different with these. Some of them did use those supports, but they took them in weird directions. Some of them just said, no, I'm not using anything X-Men whatsoever. So we're doing it again for the X-Force, celebrating the X-Force heroes before Age of Apocalypse comes out. So this video is going to showcase 2 different decks, and there will be 4 more decks coming up, 1 for each of the X-Force heroes. But there's a twist this time. I'm not sending them out to different content creators. I want you guys to get involved. So if you're a content creator, yes, you can do a video or a stream or something, and I will try and react to it in a future video where we look at some highlights to really showcase what these decks can do. I think that would be fun. But anyone else can get involved as well. We now have a Discord server for the channel, and you can discuss anything Marvel Champions there, really. But you can find that down below. If you play one of these decks, you can share your experiences. It can be in text or a picture would be amazing, anything like that. There's a channel for it on the Discord. I will try and feature that in the video as well. And first up, we have a Cable deck called My Own Worst Frenemy. So Cable and Deadpool are frenemies. So Cable in the pool aspect, Cable Pool, is his own worst frenemy, right guys? So there are a few Cable Pool decks out there, and they all use laser swords, and they all use stick-to-itiveness, and I'll be honest, when I've played him in the past, I've played him several times like this with these cards, it is really fun. So I'm not hating on any of these decks, I really like that. But they have little issues. So laser swords counts as 2 restricted cards. Cable already has a really good restricted card, so you either have to run side holster or you have to choose one over the other. A little bit awkward. Stick-to-itiveness wants a physical resource. Cable has an energy resource generator, and physicals are the least common card resource type in his deck. So there's a little bit of anti-synergy, a few little bits of friction there in the deck. I do think those kind of decks are really, really fun. I want to emphasize that I think they're really good. I have enjoyed them myself. But we're actually taking these cards and getting rid of them. We are not using them at all here. Instead, there is no Cable deck published with Ambush from the pool aspect. Now, to me, this is the card in the pool aspect built for Cable. So 1 cost upgrade attached to a side scheme. So you can see where this is going. Here's the side scheme hero. Interrupt, when your attached side scheme is defeated, discard a minion. Now, it has to be non-elite, but still that covers most of the minions in the game. And even if that minion only has 3 hit points, I still think I get good value out of this card. Now, if it has 5 hit points and maybe a toughness card, maybe a when defeated, there's certain, characters a bit like that, maybe Acolytes with Expert Magneto that I've been testing against. When this card gets rid of a minion like that, we even played it against Zola as well, gets rid of some really nasty minions with stacked up upgrades. It's just ridiculous. It's so good. And again, even if it's just a smaller, let's say 3 hit point minion, still very, very nice to use because Cable always has a side scheme out. He's always defeating them anyway. This is just a very easy way to dispose of minions, and minions in the early game can be one of his weaknesses. So if the game starts with, let's say, a minion and a side scheme out, and you have Ambush in your opening hand, you can basically just take out that side scheme and also take out the minion. So really, really enjoy that card with him. Specialized Training and X-Bunker, a very regular card for him, not unusual at all in any way. But I want to shout those out because they were not out when I did my Cable review, and they really, really help Cable. So the first deck is called My Own Worst Frenemy. It is a Cable deck. It's actually also a 45 card deck, which makes it a bit unusual. So this lets us bring more side schemes in our deck without kind of getting a hand flooded with side schemes, so it kind of spaces them out a bit. It also means we get our first encounter card basically a turn later, and as Cable is a build hero, he can really appreciate one more turn to power up a little bit more before the game gets a little bit, a burst of tempo against him. So I think that works well. Lots of allies to help us chip down side schemes so he can finish them off. Ideally, though, we want to get Specialized Training turn 1, get either Spider-Man, that's Miles Morales Spider-Man, Professor X, or a Mind Scan, which can remove 3 threat to knock Specialized Training down to 2 threat and then finish it off with Cable. And then we can get either Surveillance Specialist, which I think is really good, or Combat Specialist, which is also really good. Both of those are really good. I probably prefer the forwarding one, but they both have given me really good results when I've been testing this deck. And as you might have heard from the way I'm describing it, this one is intended as a solo deck, but I have played it in 2-player a couple of times now and had very good results as well. And the next deck is a Domino deck called Honorary Psionic. And the inspiration behind this deck was a quote I saw on Marvel.com, which says, Domino subconsciously generates a psionic aura around herself that alters probabilities. This blew my mind. I was like, hang on, Domino's kind of a psionic character? And that got me thinking, maybe I should use Cerebro. But that is only half the deck, but definitely Cerebro is the inspiration here. So Cerebro lets you, when you're Alter Ego, exhaust it and you get to search the top 5 cards of your deck for an X-Men ally. Now, Domino, when in hero form, can swap the card in her hand with the top of her deck, so she can put an X-Men ally from her hand on top of the deck, go Alter Ego, then Cerebro has a 100% hit rate, and that's very, very good. We're also running 2 psionic allies in the deck, Professor X and Mirage, which means Cerebro can actually search your whole deck, which makes it super powerful. So that's pretty nice as well. But also, we have enough X-Men allies that even if you start Alter Ego or something, Cerebro is probably going to find you an X-Men ally at least 50%, if not 80% of the time anyway. So it's pretty consistent. It's very fun, and I just like that kind of interaction. But more than that, we're running Danger Room. Now, I really like Danger Room. Domino is not a character that typically has a lot of tribal builds on her because she comes with 2 posse allies and then White Fox is in every deck ever of hers because it is so good. I tried not to include her here, but as soon as I added her, it helped a lot because she's kind of busted. But Uncanny X-Force, yeah, if you don't have all X-Force allies, it's a problem. Danger Room doesn't care if you have a posse ally or 2 out on the board. When you play the X-Men ally, you get to exhaust it and put a training upgrade on it from your deck or discard pile. So Danger Room training is in a deck as well. Very flexible card. I think that versatility of increasing fort and attack all in one card is underrated. And, you can put this on Angel. That's 5 extra damage if you use up every hit point of his except the last one to then block with him, or 4 forwarding, or a mixture. Very, very powerful. Takes a few turns to pay off, but nonetheless, I think is very, very good. Then you've got Mirage here, who again, we talked about her as a Psionic, but Danger Room and Mirage both have the same timing on their responses. So you can play Mirage, do the response from Danger Room first to give her a Danger Room training upgrade, then trigger Mirage's response, which lets you use her now boosted stats from Danger Room training to, basically stun more enemies more consistently, which I think is very, very good. So it's just a nice little bit of synergy there. But generally, this all works so well because Domino really wants to go Alter Ego. She has one of the most powerful Alter Egos in the game. Pip the Pug and Painted Lady are some incredibly good cards as well. That combo with that really make it that powerful. So adding Cerebro and Danger Room really go quite smoothly as long as you can go Alter Ego. And because we want to go Alter Ego, this deck maybe does a little bit better at 2 to 4 player, but I have played it again in solo. It's taken out, Expert Magneto, mostly because it's Domino, but it's done really well, honestly. I've really enjoyed it. Again, this one is probably better at 2 to 4 player. So if you're only going to play one of these decks, which I expect most people will, if you're going solo, maybe pick Cable. If you're going multiplayer, maybe pick the Domino deck. But nonetheless, I hope you enjoy these decks. There's a lot of really good cards that could have gone into this Domino deck. I really wanted Clarity of Purpose. I considered X-Gene. I wanted more game times. But in the end, I found that this kind of combination, you were getting more consistent games by getting more of those X-Men, more uses from Cerebro if you didn't have a Psionic ally out or so on. So I thought this worked really well. So yeah, let me know what you guys think. Let me know which one was your favorite. If you guys play them, remember, Discord link is down below. Check the description and you can post your experiences there. Content creators, you know what to do. Get in touch. I've already talked to a few of you guys. It seems like a pretty popular idea. So if you made it to the end of the video, I have a little sneaky surprise for you guys now. We have a giveaway coming up, and it's not ready yet, but it will be done primarily through the Discord, and it's going to involve the X-Force promo cards, which I have collected a few myself. Some of my play group actually left a couple behind, which was very kind of them. But also, I've had a very kind anonymous benefactor. So if you're interested in any of these cards, you definitely want to get involved. We're going to have a couple of full sets and a lot of, smaller bundles, different things that you could win. So yeah, check it out. Hope you guys have a great day, and I'll catch you guys next time. Bye.